So my name's Ed Pasque. I'm the commissioner of the Sunshine State Conference, and I'm going to start just a little bit about the Sunshine State Conference. For those of you that don't know, it's the best athletic conference in Division II athletics, NCAA Division II. And if Coach Garbalosa is on, Rudy, correct me if I say anything that you disagree with, all right? But academically, the Sunshine State Conference, we are the best academic conference in Division II. Every year, the NCAA publishes graduation rates by conference. And for the last 10 years, we've been number one. I like to say always, there were one year, I think we were number two, but either way, I think we're the best, and it's a point of pride, and it's a testament to the hard work that student athletes like yourselves are doing. So you're a part of something special academically in this league, and we're proud of you for that. Athletically, I started in the league in January of 2014, so almost 7 years. Since I've been here, we've won 27 NCAA national championships in 10 different sports. 4 of those won by Lynn, the Fighting Knights. So you're, again, big part of that. And a big piece, the third item, is the geography in this league. So we have 11 schools that are really tight-knit geographically. I'm sitting in Melbourne, Florida in the conference office, and nobody's further than 2.5 hours from me. I've worked on other campuses and other leagues where people have, 10-hour one-way road trips during the week, and they get back at 7 a.m, go to class. I mean, it's tough. So I think the fact that we have such great geography is what allows you to have a really high-level athletic experience without sacrificing and having to miss a lot of school, which I found really important when I was a student athlete in this league. So a little bit about the SSCs for those of you that didn't know. So I was an athlete in this league in the early 90s. I played basketball at Eckerd College and had an unbelievable experience, really changed my life, during my time, not only at Eckerd, but in this conference. So today's topic, I'm going to spend no more than 10 minutes, probably in 8 to 10 minutes from right now, and then we're going to wrap it up. But the topic is, what's the gift? What's the value of being a college athlete? And this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and it's personal for me. So I'm going to talk about that. It's going to be brief, but I do want to say to all of you that if there's anything that you want to talk about further with me, or if there's anything that I can ever do to help you in any way, just get in touch with me. And, Ron Davis has my contact information. He'll be glad to share it with you, and just get in touch with me, and I'll do what I can to help you out. So to me, and I really believe this in terms of the value of college athletics, there is no better place and no better way for a 18 to 23-year-old young man or woman to spend those years than to be a college athlete. It is the best. And if anybody's got a better way to spend those years in terms of what you can learn and how you can develop and how special that it can be when it works well, you got to let me know, because I'm not aware of anything else. To me, it's the best. And it's this simultaneous pursuit of both athletic and academic excellence, and those interactions, which I think it provides the most value for you. So my experience in this league, which I said was phenomenal, but it wasn't smooth. It was choppy. I had ups and downs. I had times when I thought, maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe I was going to do something different. But when I look back on it, and I look at what I was as an 18-year-old when I started playing college basketball to when I finished 5 years later as a 23-year-old, I mean, it really set me up to have a good life. And I feel very fortunate for that experience. So when I left Eckerd, it's just a really brief little piece just for some perspective on me. I left Eckerd, went into the Navy. I was 4 years in the Navy out in San Diego, California, stayed out there and went to law school out in Northern California, graduated, passed the bar, started practicing law at a big corporate law firm. Right away knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. I felt like I was just shuffling money around for rich people and just helping them, hold on to their money or make more. And it just didn't really excite me. I wanted to do something I felt added value to the world, made the world a better place. So I started thinking about different career changes I could make within the law. And then it hit me, I reminded of my own experience as a student athlete, and maybe I should get involved with college athletics. It's a great, great industry. And I really do believe that makes the world a better place, especially at the level that we're at. At this level, it's the best level of college athletics. So I decided I was going to make a career change, and I took an internship position. And my dad, I grew up just outside of Detroit in Hazel Park, Michigan. My dad worked 32 years in an auto factory. My mom was a waitress when I was in high school. And my dad calls me. He's like, "Man, are you sure you know what you're doing? You're going to leave this great job." My daughter was 1. My wife wasn't so sure I was making the right decision. I said, I think it's going to work out, man. If I just go down, I start at the bottom and, work hard and just focus on doing what I love, I think it can work out. So I took that chance. I'm really glad that it did. I'm really proud and privileged to be the commissioner of this league and to be here today with all of you. So just that's the perspective of who I am. And I want to say a little bit about what I see when I'm hiring or when I'm around a college athlete. And these are first things that I'm going to say are going to be things that I think you've all heard. So when I meet a college athlete, interviewing, looking at a resume, there's an automatic presumption. And it's only a presumption because you can prove it wrong, pretty quickly. But I presume all these things that you've picked up by being a college student athlete. I think about somebody who is resilient, who can deal with failure and keep moving, someone that's a hard worker, somebody that can receive coaching, somebody that is reliable. These are the characteristics that I think you pick up as a college athlete, or you don't make it if you don't have these characteristics. And those are important things. They're things that I think you've heard. We have a corporate partner that is with the Sunshine State Conference who hires 10 or 12 of our athletes every year. And he says the same thing, that, he loves SSC student athletes, that, they'll have a rough day, they'll fail at everything. Next morning at the desk, like nothing happened. And so, but it's just a presumption, and you can prove it wrong. More often than not, though, it holds true. And it's one of these there's so much power in life in a presumption. Is somebody looking at you and making a judgment that you are on the positive side of the equation, and then you have to prove them wrong. People that have a presumption and they're on the opposite side of that, and they got to prove that they belong, the life is so much more challenging for them. And the fact that you earned that presumption is something that you should keep in mind throughout your life, because people that know athletics, they know what you're doing now and how you're going to learn it. So what I want to spend my last couple minutes here talking about is something that's a little different. It's not those basic things that I'm sure you've already heard, but this is, to me, the one thing that I love about college athletics. It is the best thing about being a college athlete. And it's the thing that I really find a lot of beauty in what we all do for you as student athletes, and then the rest of us for a living. And it has to do with the pressure and the observation and the coaching of being an athlete. It brings your weaknesses to the surface, and so that you can address them. And I really believe that. I think that you have an opportunity to bring your weaknesses to the surface, and then you can address them. And these are things that if you fix them, you don't just fix them for athletics, you fix them for every area of your life. And that's one of the things that I love about what we do. So weaknesses that come to the surface, things like, do you blame others when things don't go well? Do you take shortcuts? Are you not an honest worker? Do you try to get by, taking shortcuts? All right. Do you have difficulty being officiated? Do you have difficulty being coached? How do you handle perceived unfairness? If you're not getting the playing time or the recognition that you deserve, how do you respond to that? Do you treat other people well when you're the best player on your team? And do you act sometimes like you don't care as a defense mechanism when we all know that you really do care? So it feels like a battle. You feel like you're going to war. Your weaknesses surface. And the beautiful thing is, it's not a war, it's just a game, but it gives you this opportunity to correct things. So I'm going to give you 2 examples, and then I'm going to close. And these are true stories about weaknesses surfacing, okay? And the beauty and the gift and the value of athletics from my perspective. So the first example, I knew a guy, he was a basketball player, and he struggled. His weakness was he always had to get even with everybody. So if he was playing basketball and somebody clipped him with an elbow or shoved him in the back or something like that, something would shift, and all he cared about was getting even with that person. It doesn't matter if it was practice and it was a teammate. Didn't matter if it was a game that would result in a flagrant foul or an ejection. It was just like a switch went off, and he was just calculating how to get even. So coach recognizes this, says, hey, you got to stop that. You got to fix that, or you're never, number one, going to play. You're going to be on the bench. And number two, you're going to struggle your whole life. You can't go through life just trying to get even with everybody that wronged you. And while you're trying to get even with somebody, you're not focused on playing the game the right way. You're not focused on winning. You're not focused on the goals that we set as a team. You just went off on your own. You're trying to get even. And so that's example one of somebody, true story, weakness surface. You got to address it. Impacts every area of your life. That's the beauty and the gift of athletics. And the second example and final example, true story again, it's a basketball player transferred from a junior college to a four-year college. And it was going great early. Junior year, it's his first year there. He transfers for his junior and senior year. And he starts the first 5 games of the year, not playing really well. 6th game of the year, he has a bunch of family come in from out of state, parents, sister, grandparents, stuff like that. Big crowd. And the 6th game of the year, doesn't play a single minute. So he went from starting 5 games in a row to not playing a minute in front of his family. And he was, embarrassed, angry, hurt, I guess you'd say. And he showed his displeasure. He showed up late for practice the next day, didn't make eye contact with the coach, dribbled the ball a couple extra times after the coach blew the whistle, little things, let his hair grow long, kind of, he was pouting, right? He's throwing a fit in a way, just trying to show displeasure. And so, it didn't get anywhere. It went like that for the rest of the year. So after his junior year, head coach calls him in and says, look, you did a good job in the classroom. You fit in on campus really well, no issues there, but we want to keep you on scholarship. We want you to graduate, but we don't have a place on the team for you next year because it just didn't really work out like we had hoped. And so, this guy says, okay, fine. I'm out of here. So he calls up his junior college coach. He says, coach, you got to help me find a place to transfer to. I'm not getting treated fairly here. So the junior college coach, who's a wise person, he knows exactly what's going on because he's been through this. He said, whoa, it's not the right thing for you to do. You got to go back there and work this out. This will be a mistake. It'll haunt you your whole life. You got to stick with this. He said, athletes, no way. I'm not getting treated fairly. So coach says, let me talk to your 4-year college coach. So the 2-year college coach talks to the 4-year college coach, and they have a discussion. And then the 2-year college coach calls the athlete back. He says, okay, I struck a deal for you. Okay, here's the deal. You can be back on the team, but there's 2 conditions. And the first one is you got to have a great attitude. The whole season, if you have one moment of a bad attitude, the coach can ask you to leave. You leave quietly, no questions asked. So that's first condition. Second condition is this holds true even if you don't play a single minute the whole season. So you'll be on the bench the whole year, and you got to still adhere to that first condition. And so the athlete's like, that's a horrible deal. I hate that deal, right? That's what he said. He hates the deal. But junior college coach talks him into it. He says, look, just go back, work hard, focus on, your love for the sport, and just do everything you can. Control your effort level, control your attitude, and just give it everything you got. So that's what he does, goes back, has the best athletic year of his life, starts every game. The team has the best year to that point in the history of the school, and everything really comes together. Forms a lifelong relationship with that coach at the 4-year school, and they remain close to this day. And so that's the end of, bringing weaknesses to the surface. It gives you this opportunity. I see it all the time. I talk to so many people, and I'll ask them about their athletic experience. 99% will say, well, it ended because they got treated unfairly by their coach, or something happened, and it always makes me a little sad. I wish that somebody had intervened and helped that person stick with it, and learn from whatever it was that caused them to get a little sideways with their coach. So let me look at the time there. Perfect timing. I'm done with these comments. Devin, thank you. Ron, Bubba.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Angie, if you're on, and if I can ever do anything, help you out in any way, let me know. And I hope that you all appreciate this privileged position that you're all in to be college student athletes, because you are really, really fortunate. And so thank you all very much.